over the early stage of the game. But for right now, Storm banned out, DK banned out, Friends. How aggressive do they actually want to be? They can try to out late game this Team Liquid side. That is entirely feasible with the Anti-Mage if they get a little bit of a slower mid lane hero as well. But whatever they pick, prone to being hard countered. So
Yeah.
that's kind of just the side effect of leaving your mid lane selection to last. And I don't know if Friends have much flexibility in how they can arrange their heroes to have a surprise mid laner. Like mid sanking, I guess, is kind of a thing. Tiny. Friends. There's some powerful late game stuff right there.
That's a very interesting pick. You'll see the Disruptor likely in the mid lane quite a bit early on to ensure that the Tiny has a good time, but you would have just expected kind of a lane dominator out of Friends here, being that Liquid get to pick over them. I could see an Ursa come out for Liquid here, perhaps even a PA. There's a little bit perhaps too much magic and pure image in this lineup to fight against out of the mid lane, but I could definitely see an Ursa just because he does build Diffusal Blade, to have a pretty good matchup against Tiny, and they do need some burst damage to kill off these heroes. Under the lasso, that is physical. They need some physical damage, and they need a Diffusal Blade builder. They could just go a little bit more standard for Miracle here too, but I would love to see something like that. There's also an Alchemist in the pool still left over for Team Liquid here, which does offer them some physical damage.
Thoughts on PA? Seems like that could definitely get off to a pretty good start as well. They want to play the value game. I suppose that's not going to be the worst, but again, lane-wise, it's going to be a struggle up against Tiny. You can definitely get away with quite a little bit, knowing that Tiny is most likely going to go towards your mid lane. I hate Razor, but that also doesn't seem like the worst pick in the world for Liquid right now. I really hope they don't, because I hate watching that hero. That's just me.
Yeah, I thought about Viper and Razor a little bit earlier, but into the Tiny pick, they are going to go for the SB, so this is going to mean Miracle likely will be going towards the mid lane in either Bat or in the Rubik, and it will be the mid lane Rubik once again for Liquid. So we've seen it before to success, and we will see if it ends up panning out here. I would definitely say that this may hurt them a bit in the late game, but Bambo tweeted about it, I don't know, 5 or so days ago. When you're SB, you never stop charging, and with a mobile lineup like Batrider and Morphling potentially to pick up a set of travels relatively early on in the game, this is going to be a lineup from Liquid that is constantly fighting.
To be fair, like, Bambo is not really the most impartial hero in order to a player to give that advice. It's like that advice could just be him giving general life advice, not specific to Spirit Breaker. But yeah, it's all about this kind of early game tempo, and it's at this point where Liquid maybe would rather have the Morphling not be Morphling and be someone who's able to fight a little bit earlier. Mid lane Rubik is really, really good for like the first 20-30 minutes in the game, and Miracle is definitely a player who can extend the effectiveness of that just by amazing play and whatever Miracle stuff just in and of itself. But for Liquid, they are gonna have a mid laner that doesn't exactly scale at all. You still have some pretty good spells to steal. Blink effects, Burrow Strike, or Blink from the Anti-Mage, Burrow Strike, Avalanche Toss are both pretty good. But is it really good enough to warrant giving this much priority to a Rubik?
Yeah, we'll see how it ends up panning out. The other thing to mention about the Spirit Breaker pick is, his bashes don't care all that much about Repel. So he's kind of a pseudo counter to the Omni Knight, and just to Repel being, one of the key tools in the kit of F.R.I.E.N.D.S. So if there's any team that can make it work and has the star power, it's certainly going to be Liquid. And, being that it's not an elimination match here, they could be just experimenting a little bit and being reactive in nature in their drafting. So we'll see how this ends up panning out for them. The laning stage showed just fine, it feels, for Liquid, but do look for ALWAYSWANNAFLY to be hovering around that mid lane guide UnderShock and perhaps force some charges or some rotations in from Liquid to keep Miracle on his feet.
What I've seen from the Anti-Mage, from Yoku rather, is that he generally doesn't play all these kind of more farm-oriented heroes. Like, he'll play Svens and whatnot, but he gets active a little bit earlier, just as a player when he's playing that farm role. So it will be F.R.I.E.N.D.S kind of much needing that kind of extra hero involvement, seeing as though Liquid have prioritized this early game more so than powering out a late game with some sort of carry from the mid lane. Rubik definitely isn't that hero. Got a smoke around now from F.R.I.E.N.D.S. UnderShock leading the way. Toss into Burrow Strike is not an unreasonable way of opening up this fight, especially if you have Disruptor Field and Purification on top of that. Maybe unable to kill off the Morphling, although actually only 400 HP Morphling. You might just get 100 to 0'd.
Yeah, Morphling I think is the easier target. Kuro has the chance to charge out Miracle and Telekinesis, one of them. But we'll see what they're able to get done here. They do drop down a ward on the cliff. I'm sure Liquid will be aware of this smoke rotation and assume that there is some sort of vision collected down by Friends. Remains to be seen whether or not they're able to eliminate that, but looks like it could be a good start for Friends.
UnderShock toss in, Burrow Strike onto both of them. Lightning Strike onto Matumbaman. Purifies there with the right click from the Tiny. 9 damage worth of right click right there, and he has another toss. I don't think he's quite going to get in range. If that Telekinesis land didn't stun him, maybe even could have tossed the Rubik back. Not an impossibility, but that's what happens when you load out with the hero that has 400 HP. You tend to die pretty darn quickly. Always want to fly, not in a great spot either. Luckily for him, there's no Telekinesis just yet. On Miracle, still cooling down. They do land a charge, 2 stacks of Napalm, Berry Fire, and now the Telekinesis is going to come in. They do drop him for a 1-for-1 trade. Looks like Yoku should be able to back out of here successfully, but either way, Miracle witnesses a kill, gets a little bit of extra experience, yet doesn't get the bounty rune. Actually, both bounty runes for Friends.
It does cost him the majority of his, all of his regen. He's, I'm sure, going to ferry out a salve sometime soon. But yeah, not getting the money is going to hurt there. Not sure that the 43 experience and the loss of most of his regen is worth seeing that kill. But either way, should be a pretty good start for Friends, grabbing up that first.
And now this bottom lane charge, from Kuro, really quickly canceled there. At least, land it, just damage value out of mana spent. Spirit Breaker at this point, never stop charging. It's pretty hard to do that when you have the mana out of the 100 you need. So this lane is pretty deadly, just applying all these slows, getting sticky napalm stacked up really high, landing the charge, getting Firefly overhead. Maybe won't kill off Anti-Mage every single time, but at least is a very dangerous lane just to pressure back whoever's going to be on this bottom lane for Friends. And if it's Disruptor, so be it. You probably can get those kills. This lack of mana is really going to be hurting this bottom lane. Level 1 Spirit Breaker with no mana is just a cow. He doesn't really do all that much, although he will find a pretty good angle on Always Want to Fly. Napalm's going to start to stack up. Field goes up. Mind Control does have Firefly plus Napalm, but again, not quite enough. If KuroKy had a clarity, probably could have been a kill.
They're doing enough, though, to disrupt Yoku's farm here early on, which is the key. Even if they're not able to get kills, they are doing a lot to set back this anti-mage here. And Mind Control actually taking a lot of damage underneath the tower. Thunderstrike is there on top of him as well, but only level 1 on the anti-mage for Yoku, so doesn't really have any pursuit potential onto this Batrider, especially with Kuro nearby, potentially to bash him or charge him off as he eclipses this level 2 mark shortly. Afterlife, though, for Friends, doing very well in the offlane, despite there being 3 heroes nearby, currently sitting on 8 CS as the Sand King, and we'll see if he looks to disrupt this pull over to the east by Jerks.
Burrow Strike Purification is still a combo, and it still does a hell of a lot of damage. Miracle is going to drop fairly low under Shock, although it seems like Shock also suffering from a lack of mana, though it's tiny. It's understandable. We'll be able to back out of there. This combo is just so good up against melee heroes, up against low range heroes. We're seeing a lot of Luna nowadays. We're seeing a lot of Morphling nowadays, and though they may be ranged, they're not really ranged enough to keep themselves completely out of harm's way versus even a level 1 Burrow Strike, which normally is just a really mediocre to bad skill, but suddenly gets a lot better when you're up against low range heroes. So it does seem like Friends are coming out pretty well ahead on pretty much all of the fronts. Anti-Mage is still farming despite the pressure, and Mind Control is not farming with the pressure that he's creating. He's just trying to gun for kills, and he's not getting CS in the meantime. Losing a lot of mana to Yoku now. Another charge coming in to Always Want to Fly. Bro's going to need some real nice rolls here if he's going to get that kill, and it's not going to happen. He actually turn around and get the kill, land the bash, and Always Want to Fly, but Thunderstrike onto Kuro. That's still going to get the kill. And a blink forward for Mind Control. About 3 hits, 1, 2, not quite enough. But Liquid are trying a little bit too hard in this bottom lane, yet not getting farm. That is costing them.
Yeah, interesting to not see Yoku pursue forward there. He had the boots advantage and 10 stick charges, so really felt like he could have got the kill onto the Batrider, but just didn't want to walk underneath tower range. Either way, they will get the 1 kill and stave off the aggression from Kuro +1 in this lane. But yeah, aside from that, Friends getting the better end of this early game. Bulba really can't show himself in lane against this Sand King Omni Knight combo. It's a very potent lane. You just burrow into that Purify, and he's already very low. Bottom lane, though, always want to fly. Is going to get healed up by the TP. That he survives here. Not sure that KuroKy would have been able to chase him down regardless, but that is Afterlife by his lonesome in this top lane for the next little bit. We'll see if Bulba can go and punish him, maybe alongside Kuro.
And well, we haven't really been taking much of a look at this mid lane, but it is Rubik with 13 CS versus 23 of Tiny. I mean, the Tiny has some of the highest base damage just in the game, so there is that. But it's also kind of what happens when you put usually support-oriented heroes like Rubik or Lion or Shadow Demon in the mid lane, that you really typically just tend to struggle with dealing with this lane because you don't have enough damage. Mind control,
MC.
you get jumped bottom, a couple of hits with the mana break, salve will be cancelled, but maybe it's going to give him enough juice to survive.
He popped the active on Empowering Haste. Yoku gonna try and chase him down so he has the blink to get out, but he's in a lot of trouble and just has to blink down to the south. Fairy was there as well for the Batrider, so he was kind of baiting Yoku in. He does force a TP rotation from Bulba out though, and that is going to be to no avail for Liquid here. So going to give Afterlife a bit of time in the top
they're on
lane.
Miracle. Avalanche, toss, delayed. It's not full damage, but still more than enough to kill off someone soft like Rubik. Getting experience, I guess. It's kind of nice, but from a core mid laner, you need more.
And he has put that value point into the null field, kind of anticipating the magic damage output from this time. But unfortunately for him there, it's not going to be able to save him. Matu takes a big Caustic Finale proc in the top lane and is a little bit low, but he should be just fine as Bulba is walking back over towards this top lane.
Still can't very easily get onto this creep wave without taking a lot of that explosive damage from the SK. So just by virtue of these heroes and their lane control, his friends swing away with a slight CS lead as it stands. Nothing too backbreaking right now, but definitely something that Liquid will have to recover from. I want to say that Spirit Breaker has to give the team a little momentum. They have to kick into gear, high gear.
Wow.
Top lane. Set up for that Caustic Finale. And more from down. Mind control also looking to get glimpse back. They're not going to pull the trigger, actually.
Burrow into Purify, simply top lane, was enough damage to kill off the Morphling. So just sitting on low HP, 220 damage on the Burrow before resistance is 180 on the Purify. So looking at 400 damage, which is about his full HP pool at that point, and a really nice setup kill from the tree line by Friends side. But they do end up losing Always Want to Fly in the bottom lane to the combo of Kuro and MC.
Gain a Morphling kill? That's so completely okay for Friends. They're going to take that every single day of the week. Like, Disruptor can die another 3-4 times, and he gets to be able to do his job. Do the same thing to the Morphling, and he's gimped. He's really beyond repair. We do have Kuro and Bulba for this mid lane. Undershock is going to get a little bit of help. Bolt does connect. They're going to toss the Disruptor in. Get a glimpse. That's a combo right there. And now Miracle hit with the Avalanche, so he's going to steal toss Undershock right back. And with a nice fortune, stop two of them. It's not going to actually save Miracle, but it should get them a kill at least in response.
Oh, the bash from Kuro. Sure, if he dies there
lucky,
without the
but
bash.
Miracle still dies, though. For Friends, that's still okay.
Definitely so. Really nice combo there. Toss into the glimpse. I thought it might have been the Sand King to be tossed in, but Disruptor gets the job done. And 41 CS to 24 CS for Undershock to Miracle is a relatively huge lead in the mid lane, and gaining him that kill now more than makes it worth it for him to have to waddle back to base and TP out to lane. Matu in top lane. A little bit of trouble. 4 seconds until a Burrow. Miracle has rotated in. He will telekinesis and burrow up NoFear, who does not get the Purify off in time. It was on cool. Didn't even get a repel off. Matu a little bit low, but continuing to give chase here. Afterlife may want to just turn with a Burrow and try to take the kill on the Morphling, as he's likely going to die here.
They stunned each other.
Yeah. He'll just
end up dropping at the exact same time, and bottom lane in the meantime, Batrider went in. And, well, somehow got caught off by a Tiny. There was something going on in the bottom lane while that was happening. Anti-Mage ends up going down to just Bat? Okay, well, pretty sure Liquid are going to be alright with how that went. They saved the Morphling from a very cheesy kill attempt. Burrow Strike Purify. They walk away also with Rubik having that Burrow Strike and an Invis Rune. This is Sand King on steroids right here for Miracle. And if he can hold on to this spell, and yeah, that could get him some pretty serious gold.
Yeah, nice rotation in from Miracle, not only to save Matumbaman, but also to turn that around and net a kill onto the enemy offlaner. So NoFear has joined back up with his comrade in top lane. It's going to make it once again very difficult for Liquid to find any sort of openings here. Liquid will try, or KuroKy will try, and soak a little bit of experience. Even queued up the Nether Strike there for a moment, but doesn't have all that much support nearby. Matumbaman is not that healthy, and doesn't even have enough for a waveform at this point. NoFear going to make the TP towards mid lane as he sees the charge coming out, and they're going to look to fight this. Repel and Purify going to go out onto Undershock. Comes in, Kuro does, gets a bash, needs another right click. Miracle getting pretty low. Nether Strike will keep back the Tiny, and Miracle will steal up Repel as well. Maybe looks to continue to press forward to drop that onto KuroKy here, who will get the damage from Purify. Repel will be there all onto Always Wanna Fly, and again Miracle will drop it onto Kuro, and that'll be all she wrote. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Yoku goes down again. Mind Control is having his way with this bottom lane. Always Wanna Fly in trouble as well. Gonna pop up the Fairy Fire, but will not be enough. Mind Control gets the kill, will make it away from the tower as well. 4, 2, and 1 double kill on this Batrider in the early game, and he is winning the laning stage for Liquid single-handedly.
And this is that star power that we were talking about earlier. Like, Liquid are making serious plays. Rubik surviving that mid lane engagement, that's already a pretty big deal, and Liquid should be pretty happy with that. The fact Batrider is able to single-handedly kill off the Anti-Mage not once, but twice, absolutely huge. Like, the Anti-Mage has Blink, so he's able to get away, but Blink is level 2. He has no way of actually getting rid of those the stacks of Napalm on himself, so still he's really slow. Still, Mind Control has the vision from Firefly. He could chase down the Anti-Mage, and it's not impossible to kill off the Anti-Mage if he's alone. If there was any other hero there that were, you know, right next to each other when the fight actually started, then Batrider wouldn't have even tried to go for that. You just can't kill off those heroes unless you somehow get every single stack of Napalm to land on both of them. But they're just picking apart Friends at this stage, Liquid. Friends still have the momentum with the Tiny, and they are going to find, oh, poor Oracle. Oh, it's completely going to miss, though. Yeah. The combo just doesn't do anything, and now the charge is coming in. Now Miracle's coming around from the side. Does he want Avalanche or Toss? No, he's gonna hold on to Repel for right now. Lifts up Undershock, throw him down, Repel up onto Mind Control, steals Purification. That's a big nuke. Prepped up for Undershock, I suppose, although he's just getting destroyed just by the Batrider Firefly. Now onto NoFear. He's gonna Repel himself, but that's gonna get purged off immediately. Gets bashed as well, so he can't Purify, and gets purified to death by the enemy Rubik. And now they're onto Always Wanna Fly. He has a Static Storm, but there's another charge coming in. That's gonna bump him back. And with 5 stacks of Napalm, he's going to give up a kill. Double kill to Miracle. Liquid are really, truly rallying, although for Friend that wasn't exactly the cleanest initiation. Liquid's ability to respond is unparalleled.
And Liquid are indeed doing it at this point in the game, and all of Mind Control's solo shininess in the bot lane has alleviated the pressure in the other lanes, allowing Matumbaman to farm in the mid lane, allowing them to make rotations to respond to these ganks, and that is a very costly miss by Undershock onto Bulba. If he hits that Avatos combo, they simply kill an Oracle and back out more than likely, but the response came aplenty for Liquid, and they are able to garner a large advantage out of that micro skirmish. Not only that, they're farming away on Matumbaman, who has now, because of the deaths of Yoku the last couple of times, overtaken him in CS.
Yoku's really going to start to feel the pressure once a couple of items come up on the Liquid side. Batrider is looking to go for a pretty basic drum build. Spirit Breaker, though, level 7. Very high level, it seems, considering how slow a start Kuro actually had. And they're looking at Yoku one more time. Vision for the charge, not quite there. They're going the complete wrong direction, in fact, but still, Yoku can't farm the lane really safely. The jungle is clearly a safe place for the Anti-Mage to farm, so where the hell do you get your farm? Every single moment that passes where he's not hitting creeps is time where he's not working towards that Battle Fury is going to be hurting Friends a lot long run. Maybe they can get the Tiny a Blink Dagger, and maybe he can get some act without missing his combo in the future. Seems like that's probably the best bet for Friends, along with the Sand King doing very much so the same.
He needs to create some space, because right now the Anti-Mage is essentially limited to 3 camps, you know, near the closest to the mid lane for Friends' side. So they really do need to find some space. Anti-Mage, as you mentioned, not necessarily totally melded with Yoku's style. I mean, he is a carry. He tends to get often with his team, and Friends is a team in general that embodies that CIS style of Dota. So Yoku feeling very pressured here. Mind Control, I mean, look how deep he is in the enemy jungle. You talked about Kuro being level 7. Mind controls level 9 on the Batrider, 5, 2, and 3. So he is not very scared at this point. Picks up the drums as well for some much needed stats and that extra burst of movement speed if needed. Top lane, though, always want to fly, is currently packing the Static Storm. Matu playing very safe right now, not even taking a look at this wave as it is nighttime.
There's a chance that he just saw these heroes come in with the Dire Observer Ward in lane, which would explain a lot, and he's going to know that is a Sand King, and he's immediately going to bail out of there. Doesn't want anything to do with that lane. He's going to add the Ring of Aquila to this bottom lane push. Tower pretty healthy, but taking down a safe lane tower is going to close the map even further for the Anti-Mage, further limiting areas where it's safe to farm. It looks like he's going to take the long journey up the enemy jungle to find some safe farm. UnderShock Blink Dagger is up, and there are a couple of heroes, killable heroes, in the area, but this is a 2v1. They can protect one another. 100-0 Oracle, there it is. Blink out to the north, and Miracle can't get the read. Blink to the south, or went to the south, I think.
Yeah, he did. Southeast, and unfortunately not able to make it over to that tiny. So nice clean kill for UnderShock, but not sure that it really accomplishes the goal right now, which is to be able to open the map back up for Yoku. I mean, he's really in the only spot where he can be over-hitting away on this tier 1, and now they're encroached upon. Always Want to Fly is going to be found out. Do they expend the lasso here? It looks like they will not. They'll just charge forward for him. Glimpse back onto the Batrider so he can't get another target, but Always Want to Fly is going to be in a lot of trouble. Does get repelled up, however, by NoFear from the backlines. Mind Control just going to be burrowed. They're going to try and sound the retreat here. Glimpse back again, though, is going to be able, a stolen glimpse that is, to find another target. And now UnderShock in trouble as he blinks immediately. Lassoed. Avalanche is going to whiff again. He'll toss away Mind Control, and it does actually end up doing some damage, but UnderShock has to get repelled and get out to the west as they bring down his comrade in the Disruptor. False Promise up onto KuroKy, will not kill him off. NoFear in a lot of trouble. No Purification up for him. He will get the repel off, but only going to delay the inevitable here, and UnderShock has to blink out to the south. Flame Break will be there to knock him back. Telekinesis there as well from Miracle, and it looks like they'll get UnderShock with the stolen toss. Miracle with a couple of beautiful plays with the stolen repel and glimpse, and that one gets the toss on the back end as well. Not even sure if it was necessary, but a decisive team fight win going the way of Liquid. They'll get the Disruptor, they'll get the Omni and the Tiny. I believe they got even the Sand King early on in that engagement.
The only hero they didn't get was the only hero that wasn't there. It's the Anti-Mage, who Kuro is charging at. Never stopped charging. No, he stopped charging. Coward. But no, Yoku is going to be just fine. He has a lot of backup in the area as well. But they kill off the Sand King again up towards top lane. Pretty good. There's a blink toss on the Rubik. And, well, Avalanche just as an AoE stun is fine, but stealing toss allows you to make some really plays, shenanigans from the Rubik, especially since he has a Blink Dagger. He's looking towards what I assume to be an Aghanim Scepter himself. Static Storm goes up, but Kuro 2v1ing, no big deal, just trucking through everything. Here comes another strike. Won't quite kill because of the Purify, but he will get the kill in the end. I think an Illusion actually got the last hit. That'll be Disruptor down. Spirit Breaker pretty much doing that, or the vast majority of that by himself. Miracle now perhaps thinking about going for Anti-Mage. That's a tough one. He's going to blink in, has the toss, furthering the chain stun, blinks, grabs the blink. Though it's a little bit too far away. They lose the Oracle elsewhere to the Tiny, and they do Burrow Strike Kuro. We're going to continue this fight, but these heroes don't exactly have a ton of damage to kill off a hero degree of Spirit Breaker, who has a lot of HP. He's going to cancel the TP. I have another Burrow Strike coming up in just a second. Kuro is in a bad spot right now, and he will be picked off. Miracle, a nice Fade Bolt, which is blink. Double blink, I suppose. Can't really do that much. They're going to try to cliff NoFear. Sure, he's taken out of the fight, I suppose. Mind Control, though, is fighting up against a lot of heroes up and around the cliff. Another jump in from Miracle is going to Fade Bolt. End up with the Sand King kill. NoFear's still stuck up there. No mana to TP out. And Miracle's going to jump right back in. Try to TP out. He'll get popped by the Anti-Mage in his ultimate. That was a mess.
Little bit of hubris there from Liquid side. Matumbaman, though, he's going to finish off the tier 2 in the top lane in the meantime. Unfortunately, they were able to cliff NoFear, but they hung around him for the next little bit, and he was able to get the Purify off to essentially kill off Mind Control, and then Miracle dragged back in with the glimpse. Ends up dying as well. So a little bit costly in terms of their confidence there, but it buys a lot of space for Matumbaman's Morphling. And although Yoku gets a much needed kill on the back end of that fight, which allows him to complete up the Battle Fury, Matu is currently ahead, and they can look to continue to pressure.
That was really bold to begin with from Liquid. Like, Rubik doesn't exactly have a ton of damage, really, regardless of what he steals. There's no Finger of Death or anything similar to Steel in this game, but trying to go for an anti-mage with Spell Shield and Blink in that position so close to tier 2s, like Liquid were already kind of asking for trouble at that stage, and trouble definitely did come to them. But still, they have a lot of momentum right now. They have slowed down the anti-mage by quite a sizable degree. UnderShock, Blink Dagger Tiny has gotten a couple of kills on Disruptor, on Oracle rather, mostly, and that's pretty much the Tiny's been able to accomplish space creation-wise for the anti-mage. At least Yoku has his Battle Fury now, so he's able to flash farm whenever he's not being actively charged by Kuro. But still, Liquid are in a pretty good spot just to sit back and start to rely a little bit more on Matumbaman, who hasn't really had a huge hand in any of these fights just yet. Yeah, so charging over towards the mid lane. Hot Afterlife, what's the stolen spell? Oh, Burrow Strike, that's an ace. And they'll kill off the Sand King.
Yeah, they can't give up the grip they have on the map right now. As you mentioned, the anti-mage farm is only going to continue to accelerate after picking up this Battle Fury, so they need to constantly apply pressure, and that's exactly what Liquid are doing. They have deep vision down, they're constantly charging these heroes. Yoku, he's going to be forced to blink out here, and is definitely not going to be farming anytime soon. Flame Break will connect onto UnderShock, who tried to initiate, but Kuro is so tanky, being so high leveled on this Spirit Breaker, that UnderShock, he may be in trouble at this point. He does have the phase boots, which allow him to create some distance away, but he is still in trouble. 2 seconds until a Flame Break. If he keeps enough mana for mind control, he will keep enough mana, gets mana voided up, should kill off UnderShock, and will be able to do so with the tick. Yoku even forced back, and Liquid is behind tier 2s here, sub 20 minutes, finding kills. Matu begins to beat away on the tier 2, and Yoku, he's not farming anywhere.
The rest of the friends were near their tier 2, and the rest of the Liquid crew were all over them. It was actually how the fight started. Matumbaman just drew out a Static Storm, was able to tank through that, and turned around and got a pretty easy Disruptor kill, and well, kind of just all fell apart from there on out. Yoku has a Haste Rune. Let's see how lucky Kuro is, because he does not have another Strike. They do not have a Lasso either, so they're only even working with the Flame Break. Yoku's running pretty quick. Give me that Nether Strike. Oh, it's going to be blinked out, and he's going to find some help with his allies. Mind Control still in the cage, is going to still have the Firefly active for more seconds, but back is going to bring him into a lot of heroes. Purge is going to get the anti-mage's repel off, but still down the Bat Rider. Matumbaman is here, Bulba is here, going to put a really deep Observer Ward in. Not really sure if that's completely worth it, although the charge is going to connect onto 3 with the Matumbaman waveform. They'll grab the kill on the Disruptor. Now onto NoFear in the back end. Miracle, Burrow Strike to keep himself alive versus UnderShock. False Promise there as well, so he's not going to die just yet. With the Purifying Flame, that they be able to walk out of this with health positive. They'll charge after Afterlife a little bit more. And let's see them bashes. Sandstorm is going to be interrupted. They don't even need bashes because they have a Burrow Strike of their own. Another 4 kill for Liquid. Still unable to kill off the Anti-Age, but that's completely okay.
Liquid are out CISing CIS Dota right now, and Miracle almost blinks right into Yoku, and Yoku in trouble with the Burrow Strike. They have the bash, and they'll kill him off. Play is amazing to watch from Liquid here. That last pick Spirit Breaker really setting the tone this matchup, and they have not taken their foot off the gas pedal. This is more of what we expected when this lineup was assembled not too long ago.
I mean, they're charging in with the Spirit Breaker. It seems like there's some sort of like speed aura going on there. When you cast charge, it's like, okay, everyone on the map assemble up to this point in location. Just the Spirit Breaker most of the time. Like, he's usually the only one to actually arrive at that fight, but every single time he charges in, there's always someone right behind him. Like right now, he charges into Always Wanna Fly. Mind Control is right next to this Breaker, so they have the damage necessary to kill off the Disruptor. Easy peasy. Kuro has just been setting the tempo pretty much exactly for Liquid, and Matumbaman has been following, Miracle has been following, and man, are they reaping the benefits of it. Is Aghanim's completed? That's Aghanim's completed, flying out to him. Kuro's going in again. We'll decide to stop the charge. But now we're going to see some real antics from Miracle. He's been playing very, very solidly on the Rubik. Very, very well. But now we can have some crazy Miracle plays.
Yeah, and the early boots of travel that we alluded to in the draft screen is now going to come out as well for Matumbaman. So he can be right there when they look to pressure or split pushing, whatever situation dictates is the better move for him. But he's going to be initiated on here and isn't able to get the Strength Morph off in time. Miracle will come through with the Burrow, gets the Anti-Mage's Blink as well. Gonna blink in front of UnderShock, gets the Telekinesis off. UnderShock should be the trade here as Kuro comes through. Purified Flames, one last right click. Miracle, conveniently enough, will pick up the last hit for his squad, and unfortunately, even with the double blink, he's unable to catch up any straggling targets, as Yoku was nearby but did end up TPing out. So they don't get the target they want. They do end up losing Matumbaman. A little bit of a blunder, Liquid there, but expect them not to take their foot off the gas pedal here going forward. Miracle, excuse me, with a massive range of initiation right now. Double blink in his hands.
And he actually stole Burrow Strike with the Aghanim Scepter. Didn't really occur to me, but yeah, you get the huge Burrow Strike because he has the Ags, and he's already looking for Burrow Strike as his like #1 spell to steal. Of course, you get all the other amped up spells as well, but Burrow Strike is probably the most realistic. They are working with full vision here. They see Anti-Mage, they see his backup in the Omnight Morphling. Travels, he is going to be actually not going towards the mid lane, so it looks like Morphling farm. He needs to get at least enough health so he can stay very heavily agility morphed and will not be insta-gibbed by that same tiny combo. And I think he's actually pretty close to being at that point, just not quite there just yet. So get the Morphling a little bit more time. And they have tabs on the Anti-Mage, so they know exactly how much he's farming, where he's farming. They're able to stop him if he's out all alone. Like right now, charge coming in, Anti-Mage forced back to his base. Like every single time this happens, just Anti-Mage not farming.
Even if they don't kill him, it's mission accomplished. They can keep Matu up near the top of the net worth alongside the Anti-Mage, even though the Anti-Mage has better farming capability instantly. Jump forward, Avalanche is going to miss. Static Storm will come down, though, onto MC. He's in a little bit of trouble, but a big burrow from Miracle through 3. They're going to bring down Always Wanna Fly during the lasso. UnderShock is repelled up, and he is going to back off toward base. Stolen Repel comes out from Miracle. Nether Strike hits onto the tiny Guardian Angel, is going to be popped up. Waveform through with the Adaptive Strike, not going to kill off the Sand King quite enough, and he will be purified up and brought back. Liquid, though, still looking very healthy, as a unit. Disruptor off the board, and GA used as well. They are going to finish off his tier 2.
Miracles still has the purification, just stole that. There's the jump in. Epicenter not going to do much of anything. Now UnderShock dropping very low himself. Purge going to be chucked out. UnderShock still isolated from the rest of his allies. Spells being stolen by Miracle. And I think hugely relevant here with the Repel on the Tiny. He should be able to make it out alive. Miracle is constantly stealing Repel and Sandstorm. Definitely wants a bigger game than that. Is going to get glimpsed back into nothing. But either way, another kind of micro engagement where friends use ultimates to get pretty much nothing out of Liquid except for a little bit of mana expend. It's a small cost, if a cost at all. Liquid don't really Roche all that well, though it does seem like they're going to maybe test their luck.
Yeah, really nicely played overall by Liquid. Knowing the boundaries, don't want to. They know how far ahead they are right now, and they don't want to be overextending. About a 10k net worth lead and experience lead in their favor as it stands in this game. They've shut down Yoku sufficiently enough that they can ignore him just for a little bit, but he does pick up the Manta style now, so becomes a little bit more fight ready. Liquid look for them to grab this Aegis and continue applying the pressure, continue choking out the map away from this Anti-Mage, stopping any potential of split push. I mean, we're talking about a team 26 minutes in that still has 2 tier 1s up against an Anti-Mage, so that just shows you how much of the map has been theirs to this point. And they will immediately tend to the top lane after taking out Roche, and then they will be able likely to assemble as a 5-man once again. Matumbaman, though, knowing he is alone, is a little bit safe in this top lane, but with the Lincoln Sphere up, going to be more than tanky enough. Adaptive Strike was already used, so cannot stop the TP, but NoFear nearby. He's going to be repelled up. He should be just fine. Burrow Strike to the north from Afterlife going to be found immediately with the Firefly Vision by Mind Control, and will find the kill for Liquid, and that is simply allow them to march down this lane as 5.
An Aegis, a pick off, no cost outside of a lasso, which should be up by the time they actually get their opponent's base. They refresh a Burrow Strike on the Rubik, so he has that for the next fight. Giant AoE stun, never a bad thing. Friends, they are working with the Shadowblade Tiny just to try to get a pick off, just to try to keep Liquid off their backs. Doesn't seem like there are many opportunities in the area, though. Liquid may still just want to wait for Matumbaman to actually get another, pretty sizable item, unless there's one flying out to him right now. The style, yeah, he's gonna have a pretty nice item set coming up in just a little bit, and Rubik has the Yule Scepter as well, so they can afford to sit back and wait for like 2-ish minutes and get these items up. They'll still have the Aegis. It's not really a terribly huge deal there. Manta style, especially up on the Morphling. A big one if this game does come to slow sieging. But right now, he's going to walk into nothing. He dodges everything, going for always want to fly. Miracle jumps in, though, in a lot of trouble because he's not the one with the Aegis. He's going to be brought down first. Matumbaman's going to survive a little while long. Purifying Flames going to keep him healthy as Kuro's going to dive in, grabs the Disruptor kill. Matumbaman still gunning forward for Afterlife, forcing a Burst Strike, purely defensive. Mind Control, though, right on his tail, grabs him. No Firefly, no problem. They get the kill on the Sand King with the Nether Strike. It will cost them a Rubik. They're going to gain 2 in exchange and almost able to that Tiny's TP on top of it.
Yeah, it was just not ideal that Miracle blinked into Static Storm there that was placed, just before he was able to initiate, and not really worth it overall for Liquid, but they'll still have a little bit of a window here once Miracle is up. Still have about 2 full minutes with the Aegis, and they do have tier 1s to be to, so they can just reconvene on that mid lane. Although Kuro, he's gonna get initiated on. Mana Void not gonna quite kill him off, as he did have quite a bit, and he's gonna be able to charge away. Undershock does not have a blink to follow him. Liquid, they're just getting every break thus far in this game, and it's off the back of some really good individual play as well. 35-14. They're evening as 5 on the SB. They've got 2 minutes left with this Aegis. We'll see if they look to make a play here. Top lane, Matumbaman out of mana. UnderShock looking to go and maybe find the Oracle. Bulba has a Glimmer Cape. If he can get it off in time, he is not able to. Will drop here to this combo. UnderShock, blink forward from Mind Control is a fraction of a second too late. And looks like UnderShock will make it out to the east. 2 minutes until that Aegis is reclaimed. And UnderShock's individual play there may have just bought them enough time, but always want to fly. He's going to be caught by Miracle, who blink forward. Stole the kinetic field, will keep him trapped in there. Miracle, though, now he's trapped in a kinetic field and a Static Storm, and will be right-click down to UnderShock, who's able to re-engage. Now Mind Control in trouble. The epicenter is going to be popped. 4 staff forward from Mind Control. One last right-click, though, from UnderShock will finish him off. Double kill for the Tiny, which you can call it a triple, essentially, as he kills Bulba before that micro skirmish, and that is going to be a lot of gold going the way of this Tiny, well on his way to what presumably is going to be a BKB. Could always look for the upgrade on the Silver Edge as well, but really nice little turn of events for Friends there, and they'll get mid lane tier 1 for Yoku. Last hit goes his way. Yoku not really involved in all too much of that, so sitting on 3,500 gold the last couple of happenstances.
There's a lot of disrespect here from Liquid versus the Tiny Shadowblade. Like, he's shown it off quite a few times now, and they're still sticking around in just a small crew of heroes without True Sight. Avalanche going to be dodged by Matumbaman. Glimpse back, though, into a field. He does have the double life, and they should be able to take his first life down without... Oh, never mind. KuroKy's going to come in. Stun up 4, force out the GA, and they're still looking for bashes. Purge going to land onto the Tiny, but Matumbaman's not all that healthy right now. Doesn't have any mana, so we can't easily stay in the fight. They grab UnderShock, though, with the Dust. Glimpse, it's going to save UnderShock. No, not from the bat, but he's just going to give over his life to Miracle instead. Going to be a kill, plus another big ultimate forced out by the Liquid side. Still, somehow, Matumbaman has this Aegis, despite the attempts of Friends. And once Liquid actually get together as a group, carry True Sight, have their items now. Miracle didn't have the Eul Scepter earlier, which otherwise would have saved him. But they'll be able to at least respond a little bit better to this Tiny, which is currently keeping Friends in this game.
Yeah, to some extent, I would have wanted to see Matumba just go all out and blow his Aegis there, knowing that it will be reclaimed soon, but as it is reclaimed now. But either way, he forced his friends to blow a lot on him without even netting the Aegis kill. So Liquid going to reconvene once again towards the high ground and look to take them out. No GA for 90 seconds, and they've already put in a lot of damage with this Manta style into this tier 3. Glyph is going to be queued up. Yoku has returned to base for the Radiant side. 15 seconds though until they have UnderShock, and he is their main initiator here, or at least the one that can kind of eliminate a hero as he jumps in. But look at positioning from Liquid right now. Kuro is 2,000 units back from the base. Bulba and Mind Control behind the tree, out of vision, and only keeping Matumbaman a difficult kill up on the high ground. They'll take a tier 3 for now and extract themselves from any further danger in the spot lane as UnderShock did respawn.
No Aegis, no real point to try to brute force your way up the high ground when you can still back off and get a couple of extra damage items, like an Eye of Scotty type item on Matumbaman, and then you can push with that. It is somewhat of a concern for Liquid that this mid lane Rubik is finding a lot of success, yes, but is also, at the end of the day, just a Rubik. It's a Tiny and Anti-Mage who are getting an incredible amount of farm. DPS-wise, Liquid may end up falling short in the damage department. They sit back for too long. I don't think they are sitting back for too long. I think they could still afford to be doing this for quite a long time. there is some sort of timer ticking in the back of Liquid's head that they have to eventually group up and make a play. UnderShock is going to jump in, grab the Bat Rider. False Promise is going to keep Mind Control alive. UnderShock's BKB is going to prevent any sort of response, but he's unable to actually get that kill, and Bat Rider should get quite a bit of HP from. Yeah, he's still fight ready. Dagger and the lasso. It seems like Liquid are just going to turn around and look for some sort of response. But Matumbaman up towards top lane, though. It's going to be the target, first of all. Is going to get a little bit extra strength. Yoku is packing that Mana Void, but into Lincoln Sphere. Got dispelled by something else. Glimpse probably. Going to be no action versus the Morphling, but the reinforcements are coming in spades for Liquid.
Really good game sense from Matumba. As soon as he sees the Tiny plus a couple of heroes go out of vision bot lane, finishes the wave, turns around,
see UnderShock
back in time, and now they're going to find the lasso onto UnderShock. It's a big kill if they're able to get it here, and it looks like they should be able to toss up. Stolen by Miracle is going to seal that kill onto UnderShock, and it's going to be a nice little bounty of gold for them. But more importantly, him on the sidelines, no buyback, 60 seconds here, and the wave is slowly approaching the enemy base.
The repel steal here for the Rubik, helping the Morphling just to go into the fights headlong, not having to worry about his own survivability. And you can just drop the beauty of repel is that you can just drop it beforehand, and then you can focus 100% on looking for a more valuable spell in the midst of the fight, as you don't really want to be looking for repel targets in the middle of the fight. You'd rather be looking for burrow strike targets in the middle of the fight. So, you know, it's a pretty nice one just to have and walk around with. The Liquid are setting up for another push on the bottom lane. Though I think it's probably worth their while to wait for the Roshan, wait for the next Roshan, as they're still working with quite a lot of control over the map. Still a tier 1 stands on the bottom lane, but it seems like they just want to use this Morphling Manta style as much as they can. He is going to go for a Butterfly next. Definitely an item worth waiting for.
Yeah, certainly so. Against the Anti-Mage, going to make him a lot less effective going forward in these fights. And that is where most of the net worth is held up for the Radiant side in that Anti-Mage. So if they're able to kind of disregard him for a little bit in these fights, that should bode well for them and their ability to take out the other heroes. The other thing is that you really don't want to fail on high ground. It's not so much about poking on high ground, it's about failing on high ground. When you have a core Rubik, that's going to set you far back in this one. Repel is there, but the double right clicks from the Echo Saber gonna at least bring Miracle low. Burrow Strike is gonna whiff at point blank range from Afterlife, and Miracle apparently able to fog them, and he will be able to blink out to the north. Had that repel up. UnderShock though, blink forward, finds a toss. Miracle, one more right click will bring him down. It's a second BKB charge used by UnderShock, and this is 9-second one, but wants to ensure he doesn't get telekinesis up. And now that they find the glimpse back on Mind Control, but he will be able to Firefly and blink away to the east, and it doesn't look like they want to pursue him at this point though. Down to the south, Bulba, he's in a lot of trouble. He is in no man's land, and Bulba just gonna get cleaned up for free. Unfortunately, F.R.I.E.N.D.S side, there is no Roche spawn for another minute or so, and Matumbaman, at least his illusions are up in towards top lane, applying some pressure to the enemy base.
These constant re-engagings from the Tiny are just getting so much work done. Like, even with that missed avalanche toss into the repel, not a big deal. He still gets the kill on the Rubik because Rubik is just being outmaneuvered. This Tiny is absolutely everywhere with the Blink Dagger and the Shadow Blade. It's so hard for Liquid to figure out where the Tiny is and then quickly deal with him because he also has a BKB. Able to fight back pretty darn well with the Echo Saber on top of that. So this play is going to force Liquid to wait for Roche, which is still kind of what Liquid are going to do anyway, and Roshan will cooperate somewhat with them. They'll have everyone back up and alive, but all the ultimates from Friends are going to be available as well, and with Friends being in a kind of a grouped up force near the Roche pit, it'll be a lot more difficult for Liquid to take the fights they have been taking, which have usually been a little bit more scattered, allowing for more spell steals and more waveforms and more Bat Rider damage.
They do have this Halberd up onto KuroKy. If they're able to get that maybe onto UnderShock if he initiates without BKB, that could be a big chunk of damage that's necessary after the Avatos combo to kill someone off. But other than that, just going to have to drop it down onto Yoku in these fights, and just going to allow Kuro to be a little bit more tanky, press forward. A lot of evasion now going to be assembled on the side of Liquid with the Butterfly as well as the Halberd. So we'll see what the plan of action is for Liquid. Looks like they have scouted the Roche out for now, so that's going to be a big piece of puzzle of them looking at high ground. Fully completed Soul Booster as well in the hands of Miracle, likely towards that Octarine, you would assume, but either way, it looks like the movement is being made from Friends over towards that Roche pit, and they do have a Shadow Blade for UnderShock.
There's still this bottom lane tier 1, which is so rarely up 37 minutes in the game, but it is a relevant defensive tower for Liquid. And they're going to steal a Purification, not a bad one still for this Rubik to have in his back pocket. Matumbaman's still pushing, and he can travel to the bottom tier 1 and rejoin his forces very, very quickly. Alternatively, force everyone from Friends back and
this should open
smash down the tier 3 tower and let the rest of Liquid push forward and look for someone to catch off guard. They are going to get Mind Control Bro Struck though, and Purify, Yule Scepter going to save the Batrider for a couple more seconds. UnderShock with the right clicks. He's going to get the toss off with False Promise and keep Mind Control alive for right now. They blow up Afterlife and NoFear soon after, and now Mind Control is going to jump in with the lasso. Promise is not going to end up killing him. They grab 3, and Liquid again separate Friends, divide and conquer, and now they're in a spot where they can take another Roche.
The reaction and the reinforcement from Liquid has been really spot on in this game. Although they've been caught out from time to time, usually
they caught
in there,
Yoku.
and a False Promise, in the air for Mind Control as he was coming down from a toss to Yoku, able to blink out to the west, and the Avalanche looks like it might keep Mind Control at bay, but he flame breaks back Yoku. They drop the Lincoln Sphere. Miracle is there now, and he will not be able to lift him up. Looks like Telekinesis used to pop the Lincolns, but they find him in the trees. Blink forward, they'll find Yoku. He's down 80 seconds, does have buyback available. Is a big kill to find for Liquid, and immediately into the Roche pit goes Matumbaman's Morphling, and he will be able to finish this off in just a moment. Picks himself up an Aegis. Now Liquid can reset and look
found UnderShock too.
Wars of
Double
Yule
Scepter, but it's a 2v1 with Morphling not actually Morphling left. Got Oracle not too far away. UnderShock is just walking around with BKB looking for something to toss. Miracle is gonna dodge that, ends up getting craggied. Still in the Shadow Blade form, and they have vision here. UnderShock is gonna roast under the Oracle and the Batrider. They make it a full wipe in the end for Liquid. Plus, they still have the Aegis for later, and actually not for later. For now, Matumbaman is already on this bottom lane. Is gonna dive right past the kinetic field and start going to town on the racks. His Burrow Strike is gonna do next to nothing. The illusions are gonna do a hell of a lot more. His reinforcements aren't even here yet, but he's not worried because the melee Raxes are his. The range Raxes should be his as well. What can a Disruptor, Omni Knight, Sand King do about this? Absolutely nothing. They need more heroes. They're going to buy back with UnderShock, but it's a little bit too late to save their bottom lane. Now Repel is once again stolen by Miracle, so slap that on Matumbaman. He's going to be rather unkillable. There it is. So what are you going to do now, UnderShock? Echo Saber can only get you so far. If they get 2 Raxes out of this, that might as well be GG. Toss back onto something. They invest everything onto that one illusion. Poor illusion did not ask for that. Matumbaman now going to find some revenge for the illusion, almost instantly giving Always Want to Fly. So with the Repel, still with the Aegis, he's perfectly fine. Just man fight up against Yoku. The lasso is once again going to be targeting illusion. I don't know what it is with these teams and killing off illusions, but they just hate them for some reason. Waveform back in from Matumbaman is going to end up killing off the Disruptor. Man Fortune's End going to stop 3 heroes from interfering from this push. Matumbaman again, just by himself.
Still has
pushing
Aegis
down the towers. UnderShock, Avalanche, toss, Burrow Strike to cover the entrance, but Matumbaman is still gonna survive. He ends up getting popped by the Mana Void. Pretty nicely done by Yoku, but still
Mana Void
is alive. He's gonna return to this fight and Waveform back out. Like, they're not done yet because they're gonna buy back with Bulba. Yoku's gonna get a bash onto KuroKy. Can he kill? Doesn't seem like he has enough damage for that. Now Liquid, they lose the Aegis. It should be about time for them to fall back.
All right, jump forward from UnderShock. He's going to look to find Miracle. Will be successful in doing so, but he loses his own life. That's a dieback for UnderShock. Not sure who the gem was picked up by. It looks like the Sand King may have secured it on the Radiant side, but now he's going to lose his life for it. Purifying Flames to finish the job there. He'll buy back immediately, but gem secured. Miracle buys back as well. Gonna look to return to the fray, marching down the mid lane currently. Matumbaman still standing strong. Looks like he may be able to take out this range Rax. Lincolns will stop the Burrow coming through from Afterlife, and they try to keep him back with the Repel, but Matumbaman, he'll finish off the Rax with a couple more right clicks here. Yoku looking to deal with the illusions. Matumbaman does finally finish off the melee. Rax Burrow coming through from Afterlife, just trying to delay things out as UnderShock is still down for 60 seconds, but they should be able to even bring him down within the Static Storm. He does get mech'd up. Now the Nether Strike coming through from Kuro. Stolen Static Storm going to be dropped on the ground by Miracle. Yoku's underneath it. He's going to be brought down. 80 seconds on the sidelines. DC's coming out from Friends. And CIS Dota has been out CIS Dota with this last pick Spirit Breaker, KuroKy, panning out for Liquid in their debut in the second phase of the Summit 6 qualifier.
There were so many good steals there, and even with Friends, like you'd